Some doors don't call you inside. They tell you to take it back. That night, the door stood in the darkest part of the street. No lights, no sign, no warning. Just a sheet of paper pinned at eye level. White, clean, too clean. 2 lines on it, Refund Department, and beneath it, the same words in another language. The paper didn't flutter. It didn't move. Like it wasn't attached to the door, but to the air. Before you could take another step, something shifted in your pocket. You reached in and pulled out a receipt, crumpled, old, not your handwriting, not your signature, but your name was printed on it, as if someone had already bought something in your name, and now they were calling you in to return it. A thin amber light leaked from the door crack. Like always, but this time, it wasn't warm. It felt like a warning. You pushed the door, and a voice came from inside. Flat, automatic. Take a number. A counter, a line, and people with faces you couldn't quite see. Some carried boxes. Some carried nothing, and still looked like they were shaking. The man at the front placed a ring on the counter. The clerk didn't even look at it. Just asked one question. Reason. The man swallowed. Regret. The clerk stamped the receipt. Thunk. The ring vanished, and the man smiled, but the smile didn't look familiar. Like the ring leaving took something else with it. Something that taught him how to smile in the first place. Then it was your turn. The clerk finally spoke again, without lifting their eyes. What are you returning? Your throat tightened. Because you weren't here to return an object. You were here to return a consequence of a decision. And in that moment, you understood. This place didn't take money. This place took pieces of you. I don't record these files for people hunting miracles. I record doors, the traces they leave, the deals they offer, and what they quietly take when you accept. Case file 004. The Refund Department. This city built an entire system around one idea. People don't live with their mistakes. They send them back. A fight you started, return it. Trusting the wrong person, return it. Signing the wrong paper, return it. The system teaches you a comforting lie. The past can't change. And then sells you the real product. The feeling of the past can. Because the Refund Department doesn't reverse time. It doesn't undo what happened. It simply removes what you carry. The guilt, the weight, the sharp edge of the memory, and in exchange, it asks for the same payment. Every time, an equivalent piece of you. People think giving up pain will free them. But pain sometimes is the only proof that you were real. And in this city, proof gets collected quietly. Inside, there was a board on the wall. Nobody looked at it, but everyone obeyed it. The rules were simple. 1. Your return needs evidence. A message, a mark, a photo, a wound. 2. You must state the reason. 1 word only. 3. You must leave an equivalent item. Equivalent doesn't mean money. Equivalent means you. You placed your receipt on the counter. The clerk glanced down. Evidence? You pulled something from your pocket, a key, rusty, old, heavy. Not a door key, a home key. A key to a home you don't live in anymore. The clerk asked, Reason? You hesitated, but your mouth answered before you could stop it. Regret. The clerk nodded. What are you returning? You took a slow breath. A consequence. The clerk picked up a pen for the first time. Big return. Big equivalent. Then they slid a small box onto the counter. Inside, blank labels, empty tags, waiting. The consequence will be removed, the clerk said. And in its place, we will write what you leave behind. You tried to laugh. This is dramatic. The clerk didn't react. They stamped the receipt. Thunk. And suddenly, you tried to picture your mother's face, but it wouldn't come. You reached for her voice, and it didn't come either. Only the word mother remained, hollow, like something had been pulled out of you, and yet your shoulders felt lighter. That's how the first return begins. A small relief and a small emptiness you don't notice yet. Once you feel lighter, you want it again. The line was always long, because in this city, regret never runs out. You came back a second time. This time, you wanted to return something small. A harsh argument, a broken moment. The clerk asked the same question. Reason? Shame. Thunk. The shame disappeared, and with it, something else. When you tried to apologize later, your mouth didn't know how. The words wouldn't form. The reflex was gone. You came back a third time. Reason? Fear? Thunk. Fear vanished. And suddenly, you stopped sensing danger early. That small inner warning went silent. The department wasn't just relieving you, it was softening you, making you manageable. Then the big return arrived. They placed a folder in front of you. No title, no label, only the seal, the door symbol. The clerk finally spoke with clarity. Major return, signature. Your body recognized it before your mind did. The protocol, the desk, the time. 1720. You whispered, I want it back. I want to undo it. The clerk nodded. Yes. Hope rose in your chest, like you were defeating fate. Then the clerk added the only word that matters here. However, for a signature return, an equivalent is required. What equivalent? The clerk opened the folder, and inside was something that looked like a choice. Not paper, not ink, more like a shadow, shaped like a decision. The clerk said softly, the signature didn't cost you your right to object. The signature cost someone else. Your blood went cold. What are you saying? The clerk remained calm. In this city, big agreements don't cut one person. Someone pays somewhere. If you want the consequence back, then the payment must return. And when payment returns, it lands on someone. The clerk slid a blank label toward you and a pen. This is the offer, they said. Either the weight returns to you, or you write a name. You stared at the empty label, because now you understood. The department doesn't erase consequences. It relocates them. And if you return yours, someone else will carry it. Lightness for the price of someone else's heaviness. You didn't touch the pen. For the first time, you said no, but in the refund department, no triggers a process. The clerk opened a drawer and pulled out another receipt, yellowed, worn. It had a date, your birthday. And at the bottom, a signature. Your signature? You whispered, I never signed that. The clerk looked up. You did. Not once. Many times. Your stomach dropped. The clerk turned the folder around. On the back page, there was a list. Your return history. You had already returned a face, a name, a feeling, and worse, you had tried to return the same signature before. You swallowed. Then why am I still here? The clerk answered gently, like a machine explaining a rule. Because a return does not destroy the consequence. A return destroys your right to remember it. Cold ran through your spine. So, the clerk finished. The consequence stays somewhere. Someone lives it. You simply become the person who didn't. That was the twist. The Refund Department is not a trash bin. It's a distribution center. Regrets, shame, payments, taken from one place, sent to another. That's why the city feels so quiet. Pain didn't disappear. Pain was outsourced. And you realized if you return the signature, the weight will land on someone. And that someone is usually the person you already paid with once before, because the system loves selling the same price twice. The clerk pushed the label again. Choose. The weight can return to you, or you write a name. You stared at the blank space. Writing a name meant pushing someone into the machine. Not writing meant the weight returns to you. And the weight wasn't money. It was your life, in full. The heaviness you tried to escape. You thought, if I return this, will I be free? Or will I simply buy a cleaner lie? For the first time, the clerk's eyes looked real. This is what we sell, they said. A clean conscience. And a clean conscience is the dirtiest market. You picked up the pen, but you didn't write a name. Instead, you turned your hand over. Palm up, on the counter, there was a red stamp. 2 words on it, no refunds, no returns. You pressed the stamp into your own palm, disnil. Thunk. It hurt. Real pain, the kind the department hates, because pain is proof. You slid the receipt back across the counter. I'm not returning this, you said. I'm carrying it. The air changed, like everyone's invisible weight became visible for 1 second. The amber light at the door crack flickered. The clerk didn't speak. They pulled out one more receipt, crumpled, old, in the corner, in tiny ink. 1 word appeared. Tomorrow, 3 dots, like the department was saying, fine. Not today, but tomorrow, I'll offer again. You walked to the door. This time, the door didn't call you. You chose it. And before I close this file, 1 question. If you could return the consequence of a decision, would you? Or would you choose, just once, to carry the weight and say, this is me? Because in the DarkDeep archive, there is 1 rule. Some doors don't give you power, they give you convenience. And the price of convenience is usually you.